water there. So I think it fits on that one beautifully. Almost fits on that one. Let's give it a whirl. That's it clicking. Okay, so that's it tightened to, what do we say, 10. It's a 13mm that's on that. So let's see. I did look up on the internet and it basically said it should be £18. 10 is too much. So let's take that back off again. Bearing in mind it says never use your torque wrench, this torque wrench, take a bolt off. So that was what, about a quarter of a turn there. I need to just move you a little bit so I can turn this engine over. Still too tight. My humble opinion. I have you so tight against this here so you can see after my dad's comments. I can't turn the engine over without bumping it. Oh, it makes too much effort to turn that. That is not good. I'm gonna loosen that off even more. Finger tight. Let's just get you up out the way just now. And I'll move you further out so I can get to this. Okay. Sorry for messing you around here, but I need to be able to do this. Okay, so let's bring this all the way down to the lowest setting on this particular torque wrench, which is £5, which I'm assuming will be much more than finger tight, really. Am I right? £5. That's it set to 5. You don't need to see how I did that. You know how I did it, right? Okay. This isn't as distinct a click as the other one. You have to really be aware of it. There it is. I see. It seemed a lot tighter on that one than the other one. That's £5 of torque. Will it turn? No, it will not. Oh my goodness me, there's something not quite right. Am I imagining this? Now see, that's tight. That's not right. Whereas this is barely tight. Yeah, I missed the click in that one. Right? I must have. Okay. Let's bring it down finger tight. That's it, finger tight. Now I need to be careful that I don't miss the click, because I went past the click on that one. This one. Right? Help me identify the click here. There it is. Wow, it's so slight. That's it. That is a very slight click. £5. It will move, but holy shit. What about the other ones? Are they too tight? I thought I'd loosened them all off. No, because the only ones we're playing with are these, right? So that's loose, that's loose, that's loose, that's loose, that's loose, that's loose. Can't even get a split pin in these, the way they're sitting. It looks as if they're down far enough for a split pin. You know, if I was setting this by hand, I wouldn't even have it as tight as that, to be truthful. But that's £5 on this torque wrench. £5. £5. 5 foot-pounds, I should say, right? 5 foot-pounds. That's the lowest setting on this torque wrench now. Okay, I'm going with my gut. I'm going to loosen it even more. I still think it's too tight. Watch your fingers. It's still way too tight. And that's just one bolt now, right? So finger tight again. Finger tight. Finger tight, right? I'm moving in. It still feels tight to me, I'll tell you. My finger's moving. I'm bumping up against the tripod, I do apologise. I know my dad wanted to be right in here, but it's very tough to do. Right, I'll bring you back in again, and we'll get our split pins and see if we can get a split pin in each one of these. Just, you know, finger tight. There's no sideways movement in these bearings. Right, let's get a little split pins. We're just going to do it by feel then. We're not actually going to do it per the instructions. Right, how about this one for size? You see it? Let's bring it right back in here again, so hopefully you can see. And bring it back down. Right, you're in as far as I can possibly get you here. That's it, zoomed in as far as it'll go. And this is finger tight. Only finger tight. I'm going to bring this lamp round so I can maybe see where. There you go. Obviously too big of a split pin, but we'll figure that out in a minute. I even saw in the Austin 7 forum that they're saying no need for split pins here. Maybe if you use an eye a lot, oh, don't drop that. Maybe this is a time for so is this it? I'm just doing them finger tight. Can I then, you know, take the whole thing apart after I run it in and tighten them up a little bit? Don't know. I'm tempted to open these up and bend them round either side. I suppose I should do that, shouldn't I? Just bend them down, like that. And bend it across, like that. So bend down and across. Don't actually know the protocol. All I know is I don't want those wee bits of metal getting into my engine. Maybe that's why they don't like you screwing with that. So purists, am I being completely silly here? I'm going to tighten each one up, right? Till it's tight, and then I'll loosen it back off again. to run into my problem with bumping you again here on the... Yeah, so that's too tight. So I'm glad I invested in that $20 torque wrench. See, that moved a wee bit. Let me just move you back a little bit. Just bear with me. Yeah. Okay, so it did move, but not much. Not much more than finger tight. If we want it to still move, right? Bloody hell. It's so awkward, this thing, to turn around. I mean, I honestly don't think it should be so difficult to turn. Okay, I still think that's in there, actually. Finger tight. Jeez, I never thought, honestly, there must be something else wrong, huh? So I'll tentatively run this engine up and bring it back in here again so we can see better. Can you see okay? I think you can see okay. And then I'll have to, or I must, right? Rubber gloves are wonderful until you need to pick something up. And a slightly more robust looking split pins here. Will still fit. Maybe not. I thought I'd be able to find a hole there somewhere. Right there. Obviously you can't drop one of these. I did buy a new magnet thing, FYI. I think I see the hole there. Nope. That's not good. I wonder why that's been so darned awkward. Okay. can see the hole on this one. No, I don't. Mamma mia. Got it? It's way up at the top. It should not be as loose as that, surely. Not. Oh dear. I'm definitely going to drop one of those. Right, there's the hole. So there's a hole on this one. I thought I saw in one of these that there was something blocking the hole. There's something blocking the hole, look. I'm gonna have to, oh look, it's an old split pin. Jeepers, don't drop it. No, I need to get a pair of pliers for that. Put that split pin there. I'm getting spooked by funny noises coming, and it's the cable underneath the plastic container that has the shop tiles in it. Give me the heebie-jeebies. Don't drop this in the engine. There we go. A little bit of old split pin. Just to add to the fun. Oh my god. Right, now, surely these are too loose. I need to tighten up just a quarter of a ton. Surely I can do that without it bending too much. There's my hole. If I can get that split pin in there. Come on, baby. Right, that's that split pin in. I thought I saw something drop out there again. Quarter of a turn again. Not even a quarter of a turn, a little smidgen. Right in the middle of that. Have it there. I think I should be able to get that in there now. These are slightly thicker split. I thought they were slightly thicker. I've got a wee dog hair going in there. Holy crap-a-lolly. What is going on? I need to turn it just a smidgen more. Smidgen, that's the day of the word. The word of the day. God. Am I really losing it? There, go on. Maybe this thick one's too thick. Or we got the same problem. We've got another bit of old right. Get the skinny one. Never looked out before. We know the skinny one fits. The more robust one might be just a bit too thick. But where are these dog hairs coming from? I don't understand. Yeah, see. The unskinny one was too unskinny. Does this matter that I just bend this down and bend this up? I certainly hope not. You know, I think of the other guys that I'm reading about and watching other videos on, and they're so exact. Everything's an exact science. It's daunting. It really is daunting, my friends, because they seem to know exactly what to do here. Is it from doing it so many times? And this is just my first time, so it's allowable to make mistakes if it's your first time. I really don't know. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing if I can kind of completely screw this up, you know. Right, let me twirl this. Hopefully it'll twirl easily. And I'll move you guys out of the way. while I do my twirling, and I'll move you back in again, and we'll do the same with 1 and 4. Right. I do need my big screwdriver. My little screwdriver was not able to turn this even with this only finger tight. That's still a big effort to turn that. I'm not saying. I think there's something else going on. Maybe it's the crankshaft beer. I don't think it is. I think it's just the pistons having the new rings in them and all that happy horse shit. Sorry, I keep telling myself not to cuss when I'm doing these videos, but I'm such a terrible cusser that I cuss all the time. I do apologise to those of more sensitive sensibilities, if you catch my drift. Oh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Right here, well, can you guys still see what's going on here? Yeah. So it's tightened up. Tighten. Tighten. Turn. No. No turny, turny. With it being as tight as that, it'll be locked up. I'm not even trying very hard there. Finger tight. Finger tight. Make sure it's turned even a wee smidge in here. Actually, not. Okay, holes. I'm not second guessing myself anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and put these split pins in, and that'll be that. The skinny split pins. Whether that's correct or incorrect, that's what we're doing. Skinny split pins. 1 and 2 come out together. Awesome. So, rightly or wrongly, I'm putting them in from this end, cause it'll be more easier. Actually, maybe not. Probably easier putting them in. Not easier putting them in, but easier bending them over. Try and put them in from this end. I didn't even move it just a wee bit. That'll go in there, but let's try from this end again. Oh. See, it's not slotting into one of those castellations. Castellations are much further down on these. And there's no side to side movement on that at all. Yeah, there's such a huge side to side movement on the other one. Does it matter that it's in one of the castellations? I hope not, because that's as far as we're going to take this one. Okay, so let's... I'm completely reliant on that split pin now, because these are only finger tight. That cannot be right. Did I end up putting the wrong caps in the wrong... You know, I put 1, 2, 3, 4 on this. Did I get it backwards or something? Maybe I have to go back and look at that video again. Oh, there's the oil ways. They just... There are wee pipes that stick down through there. Huh? Okay. Okay, next split pin. Okay. Can we bend that down and bend that up? Maybe not. Just come to daddy. There's one. Bend that way. And bend the other way. Even the split pins aren't cooperating with me. Should there be washers on these things? That would bring the castellations up to... I mean, the other ones seem to be correct, but these are screwed too far down, and now the nuts are loose. I'm going to tighten that up with a wrench, even though I've put the split pin in there. It's a 1/4 inch Whitworth, right? We have a trusty toolbox here. Oh, 13, that's fine. That's just too loose, you know what I mean? Look at that. That is way too loose. And now that split pin is going to hold it on there, but it's not going to hold it tight. It's going to loosen off to where it can bump up against that split pin. Something inherently wrong here with what I'm doing. I know that when I'm doing it, so maybe I need to do this and then really, you know, work the engine back and forth before I actually finalise it right. I'll put the sump on it, put some oil in it, good oil, but oil that I can just drain out again, and make sure everything's working. This is not going together the way I thought it would go together. It's just not. And I do apologise if it's kind of feels like I'm wasting your time. It kind of feels like I'm wasting my time as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's it tight again. And with my big screwdriver, it won't turn, I suspect. Wowza, wowza, wowza. Keep going. Put the split pins in. Put the oil pump back together again. You need to remember to put the oil pump back together again. Remember, I asked you to remind me about that. And then we'll turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it with some oil in it, and hopefully, without actually starting it, right? And then we'll find out what we've done wrong, and we'll be able to fix it before we actually use it as a running engine, and possibly, you know, irreparably damage something. What's the possibility of that? Yes, let's just say that's a strong possibility that we'll be able to fix it, even though we know we're doing it wrong. Okay, we do know that we had to tighten one of those bolts down a bit more, right? So it may have made it too tight. Who knows? Right, so let's do this one. I do like this way of doing it better than another way. Why? It's less likely to come off or loosen off maybe. So why don't I just change that around on these ones? There's a reason I like that better. I don't know what it is. Oh God, it's so loose. My understanding of these things was they were supposed to go through the castellation. That makes me think that if it has to be this loose, it should be, there should be washers in here. If there was washers in them originally, I would have had, you know, I would have them. Right, so let's just redo these then. Fuck it, let's screw it. Sorry for bad language. Okay, so that's all 4 big end caps on, con rods, big ends, bolts, blah blah blah, all that stuff on, right? So let's switch that off, move you guys out the way a wee bit, and let's get to twirling this engine and see what happens, because we should be able to twirl. Let's just make sure this isn't going to fall off the engine stand first. Yes. Well, even though some of those are loose, tons of threads left. Okay, so let's get a twirling, baby, and see if this all loosens off enough that it looks as if it might be correct. I don't know. Do you think? big end bearings do look dry. That's my hour that I gave myself up. That's fine. Okay, so let's look. So let's squirt some regular oil in there, shall we? Whatever we put in there is going to fall right through the engine. So let's put the oil pump together and then we'll fill it with oil and we'll do it that way. How do you feel about that? I'll just bring you in here so you can see what I'm looking at. There's the crankshaft bearings there. They do look a bit dry. But I mean, it's turning over, right? I mean, I can't say it's turning over easily. It's not turning over easily, you know. If it was turning over easily, it would be doing what it did before. But I think that's fine enough. Okay, so let's zoom you out a little bit and let's see if we can figure out what's going on with the oil pump. Very simple oil pump, the Austin 7, this is it. It's very simple, but that doesn't mean I know how to put it back together again. I'd taken the plate off it. I tried to take the whole thing out so I could free up the engine. I ended up freeing up the engine after just taking the base plate off, right? So this is a box of goodies that came out of the engine when I was dismantling it. And here is the doohickey that came off of there. So that's the two bolts. There's a couple of wee washers there as well, I think. One washer, because one washer's on it. I need to give this a clean, obviously. I just saw someone talking about putting an extended, because they put a deeper sump on, an aluminium sump, which they liked. They put a pickup tube, silver shouldered it on there. Really nice job. Didn't just look like factory standard to me. Oh, there's a washer on that one. There's a washer on that one too, so I don't know where that washer came from. Okay, so that's the nuts and bolts, but there's also two wee thingy bobs that fell out of there. With springs. Who's good at figuring out the two wee doohickeys that fell out the oil pump? Some old rings, there's a water inlet. There's the old busted, remember that? Trying to get that out. That's something off a seat. That's got nothing to do with that. That's the cover of the dynamo housing. Two wee square bits. It fell out of the oil pump. I didn't realise they could just fall out. And I turned the engine up the other way and they fell out. I picked them up and put them somewhere safe. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. The only place I would think of putting them is in here. But I'll tell you right now, I don't see them. Oh, that's the, I bought that. The replacement head stud that I think I need. I think that's a brush. I don't think that's got anything to do with the oil pump. And now I'm beginning to think the oil pump bits are not here. So we'll put that somewhere safe. Oh. And let's see, where the hell else those wee bits in. So that's one piece of the puzzle. But there's two little bits that press. This is not concentric, you know what I mean? It goes round and round. And there's a little couple of springs and two little metal bits that fit in here, and they press against the side, and that's what pushes the oil pump around. That needs cleaned anyway, so we'll find out what happened to those two little bits that fell out of the engine that I put somewhere very safe, and we'll come back in part 2. Okay, well, part 3 now, this is part 2, huh? Okay, thanks for your patience. See you soon. Thank goodness. I just did the same thing with the split pin thing and spilled the split pins everywhere. But anyway, I was so excited I had to show you before I finished tonight that I did find in my other little magnetic holder the gubbins that fits in there. That's the gubbins that fits in there. Now I'm going to clean this before I put it back on again, but that would be the oil pump. Put it back together again. Just remind me to clean that. Now I'll switch off and come back later, and I'll remember and clean that, because even the oil pickup is full of muck. But I wanted to show you that before I quit for the night, because I'm really worried about having lost those wee bits.